What's up, what's up? Welcome back, beautiful people, to another pick a card reading. This is going to be a timeless love reading, so it doesn't matter when you're watching this video. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and remember, I always end my readings on a positive note. So with that said, it's time to pick a card. This is Rainbow Moon. Alright, so before you are 4 different decks here, each with 4 different crystals on them. Each of these decks represent a different reading. If you've never done a pick a card reading before, how it works is you're going to choose one of these decks with your intuition. What is intuition? I like to think of it as an instinct. There's no logic involved in an instinct. It's all feeling. So ask yourself, which of these decks do you feel most drawn to? Which of these crystals do you feel most drawn to? If you're drawn to multiple decks or multiple crystals, that's totally fine. Just means that there's multiple messages for you to hear. So for those of you who like to choose by crystals, I'm going to go ahead and introduce them now. So for deck number 1, we have this beautiful raw turquoise. Deck number 2, we have this raw garnet from Alaska. Deck number 3 has this small little piece of black tourmaline. And deck number 4 has this see-through orange layered fire agate, which is really fun to look at. All right, if you need some more time to choose, feel free to pause this video. If not, go into the video description and click on the time code for the deck that you chose. All right, get comfortable, go brew some tea, and I'll see you at your reading. What's up, deck number 1? Welcome to your love reading. Remember, if you chose this deck, you chose the deck with the ball of raw turquoise on it, which is such a beautiful color. All right, so how this reading is going to work is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot here, with some clarifying cards, and then I'll end the reading off with some oracle cards. Get a good shuffle in here for you, and then we'll get started. Let's see what's going on with deck 1's love. What's happening with love in deck 1's life? All right, deck number 1. Let's see what's going on in love for you. We have Judgment in reverse. We have 8 of Wands in reverse. We have 2 of Swords in reverse. We have the King of Cups upright. And we have Page of Pentacles in reverse. We'll get some clarifying cards too. For Judgment, we have Summer. For 8 of Wands, we have Manifestation. For 2 of Swords, we have Surrender. And King of Cups, we have Entanglement. And Page of Pentacles in reverse, we have Timeline. All right, deck number 1. What do I see for your love life right now? So it seems like in your distant past, we have some sort of truth not able to come out. And this might have been happening in summertime or an environment where it felt like summer. So maybe something wasn't being said by a partner. You're waiting to hear back from someone and you just weren't getting your answer. There's this air of not knowing how someone feels of you, unsure where you stand in this relationship. Yeah, there's a lot of inner critique. So you might have been in a spiraling sort of sensation of self-doubt, critiquing yourself, wondering if you're the problem here, critiquing yourself, ignoring the call too. Maybe you were not taking action on something. Yeah, it's really just about kind of not being able to say what needs to be said, not letting yourself move on as well. Yeah, there's something that you wanted to hear that you weren't able to hear. So maybe this is a partner that's not really available, not really giving you the clarity that you needed in this relationship. Maybe you were blaming yourself for something that happened. Yeah, you're kind of like ignoring something, letting something fester even. And this caused a lot of delay. There was definitely a lot of frustration with this relationship. Felt like things were kind of unorganized. Things weren't really moving forward. Things weren't manifesting for a while. So yeah, maybe this is like a summer situationship sort of thing. But there was definitely this sort of miscommunication. There's passion in this relationship, but it wasn't really manifesting the way that you wanted it to. It was kind of disjointed and irregular, maybe one-sided even, and it just wasn't becoming what you wanted it to become on your own timeline. It was taking too much time. Things you were expecting to happen weren't actually happening. Yeah, there's like just this big blockage of sorts. You're definitely connected to someone, but yeah, they weren't really making progress. This relationship was kind of stagnating, even though you were intertwined. Wasn't really moving in any direction, wasn't really changing either. A lot of inaction. So maybe things were just the way they were for so long. And it got kind of frustrating waiting for this person to change. It's tough being in something where things are attaching you together, whether that's sexual attraction or romantic attraction or memories from the past that you look fondly on. But nothing's really moving forward. You guys aren't really evolving together. And maybe there's something that just wasn't being said. You weren't really able to see the full picture for a while too. I think there was something that needed to be done that wasn't done. Think that there was something mustering under the surface that was unable to come up to the surface. But there is definitely some sort of information, some sort of aspect about this person or this relationship that needed to come to fruition that wouldn't have just been known to you. it would have eventually been known to a community, to a bunch of people. So maybe your close friends around you about this relationship. Maybe you were hiding something about this relationship, or they were hiding something about this relationship, and you were both delaying saying something to the people around you. For some of you, this could be not getting married, waiting to tell people about your status on marriage. Maybe for some of you, you guys eloped and you just weren't really ready to tell people around you. You know, that could be true for some of you. But really, it comes down to this idea of something not able to be said, and a lot of delays in the passion not being able to really manifest and to evolve. And then it kind of left you where you are now, which is in a place of indecision. You're in a place of confusion. Maybe you're dealing with too much information right now, and you're not able to make a decision. And you're kind of at this like stalemate almost with this person. Which is interesting, mixed with this surrender card here. Because it's like, maybe you just feel right now super lost, kind of unable to make a decision on this relationship because it's been stagnating for so long, and because these things haven't been able to be said. For some of you, you're kind of just lost in it all, unable to really move, and you're surrendering to this experience of feeling indecision, surrendering to this confusion, believing right now that it'll never be figured out, and not really able to get the clarity you need. And it's almost like your mind is in this sort of web, your heart is in this sort of web, and you're stuck to it. You're tied around a bunch of string. All the coils are getting intertwined in your mind and your heart, and it's hard to know where to start to untangle this mess at this point. It's almost like you've invested so many emotions and you don't know where to go from here, because you know you need to do something. It's almost like you've known this information, this thing that needed to be said for a long time. And now it's like you kind of feel alone in that. You feel like you need to act on it, but you're just not. And you're almost like surrendering to it just being this way. Like, yeah, this relationship's just going to be this way. And for some of you who are not in a relationship, this could be purely internal as well. Maybe it's an aspect of yourself that you feel like you weren't able to say, you weren't able to come to terms with, and you have all this passion for a relationship, for your idea of love, but it's not able to manifest because maybe you're letting these negative thought patterns kind of weigh you down, and you're not able to really accept certain aspects of yourself here. Maybe you don't feel worthy of love. Maybe you're judging yourself based on past experiences when you might have hurt someone or someone might have hurt you, and you're basing it all on that. And you're kind of now at a point presently where you're letting that color your experience, and you're surrendering to that experience. You're kind of lost in these emotions now, and you're blind to the reality. You're unsure of what action you need to take moving forward. And your mind is jumbled by all these ideas bouncing around your head. And so you're left in this sort of pause now, again, entangled in this web. But in your near future, with this King of Cups energy, you're kind of going 180 from this. You're suddenly in a place where you're not looking towards the past and you've kind of moved on from this indecision. You were able to come to some sort of consensus. And maybe by surrendering to this situation, that helped you have power in it. By finally admitting defeat or admitting some aspect about yourself or some aspect about this relationship that you haven't really wanted to come to terms with for a long time. You're able to flip the script on that. And now you're sitting in your power. You're in control of your emotions. You're able to untangle this web. You're able to uncoil yourself, and you figured out where to start. And you were able to pull yourself out of this quicksand of constant, jumbling thoughts. So you found this balance in the near future. And you're almost like compassionate about, where you've been. You're compassionate to yourself. You're compassionate to others around you. You're compassionate to this person, for those of you in a relationship. And you're almost diplomatic. It's like masculine energy too. So you're able to take action based on your emotions here. You're able to make mature decisions. You're able to discern what's right for you, what's wrong for you. And you're able to lay down the law of the emotional land here. So in the near future, you're going to feel imbued with this masculine energy, with this ability to really speak your feelings and honor them and affect others with them as well. And this doesn't just affect this person you could be in a relationship with. This could also affect yourself. This could be you finally coming to terms with these truths that you weren't able to speak. This passion that wasn't able to manifest. And the delays are over. Now you're ready to move forward. You've made this decision. You've surrendered to the knowingness of this aspect of yourself or of this aspect of this person, and you're able to have power. So now, in the near future, you have power over this relationship, or you have power over this thought pattern that's been affecting you for so much in your past. And you're really untangling this web, and you're simplifying things, and you're being fair. And you're just in such a powerful emotional space that you could be really affecting other people around your life too by holding this vibration. You could be making some positive, lasting impact here too. So it doesn't just affect you. It doesn't just affect your partner. It could affect a bunch of people. Maybe this looks like, for those of you who are single, you are completely changing what you're looking for in a partner. You're completely reorienting what it is that you want out of love. You could be completely reorienting what your idea of love is here. You could be changing your all of your settings on these apps if you're someone that uses those. Or you could be at the bar and being like, hey, like, I would usually go after this person, but not today. I just know what that kind of person has, how they've affected me in the past. And now I'm standing in my power from knowing that, because you've accepted these truths. You've said what needed to be said, and you've made your decision, and you've surrendered to the knowingness of that. And you're kind of like boiling things down to what they actually are here. So maybe you're not putting up with your partner's BS anymore if you're in a relationship. Maybe you're finally laying down the law on this person and saying, like, hey, I'm not going to stand for this anymore. This is how it's going to be. And this is the law, coming from an emotional place. Like, hey, this is how I feel, and I want you to honor that. And since we're upright here, it really is you being in your power over that. So that's amazing. But definitely be careful how closed off you become from this process. There is a potential of kind of missing out on some real opportunity. You have a potential of missing out on a new partner potentially, or a new aspect of this relationship. It's almost like someone's trying to gift you something. The universe is trying to gift you something physical, tangible here, but you're kind of not even seeing it. You're not even noticing it, and you're just almost rejecting it, you know? And this is combined with the timeline card here. So to me, that means like, make sure you know that all the options are on the table here, and you have control over your next paradigm. You have control over your next timeline. You have control over your next relationship, and you have control over your current relationship in the direction that it's going. Because the universe wants to give it to you, but there's some sort of blockage here. So there's almost like the potential for like lack of moving forward again. Almost like procrastinating and kind of gambling with love in a way. So maybe you're going to be thrown off your kilter a little bit. So definitely don't discount potential suitors. Consider everything, consider everyone. Make sure you can see the gifts that are coming towards you. Make sure you're getting out. This could mean make sure you're getting out into the dating world. Now that you have this inner knowingness, don't just sit at home all day. Or this could mean in your relationship, make sure you're actually taking action on this and not just feeling the emotions. You're actually taking action on the emotions. Because there's definitely some sort of gift the universe wants to bring you, that will bring you into your next chapter here, into the timeline that is necessary for your soul. So make sure you're not missing out on its gifts, and make sure you're considering all options here. All right, with that said, I'm going to go on to some oracle cards. And as always, you can look at these oracle cards as just some extra little messages from your higher self, the universe, ancestors, spirit tribe, whatever you want to look at it. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's see what animal card can help. Deck number 1, in love. Ooh, sea serpent. Let's get one card from this frequency deck from Teal, Swan. What frequency is deck number 1 holding, vibrating at currently? Let's see. What frequency is deck 1? Ooh. You have positive focus, 49 here. It didn't really pop out upright or upside down, so I'm going to leave it sideways like this. Let's get a card from your guides. What do deck 1's guides want them to hear? Thank you. That was fast. life force, Aphrodite. Interesting. What do deck one's angels want them to hear in terms of love? Let's see what comes out. Angel therapy. Interesting. Let's get a moon card. Oof. Emotions are running high. Super moon. Just get some clarifying too. Validation. With sea serpent. Autumn with positive focus. The sun with Aphrodite. Throat chakra with angel therapy. Non-duality. Emotions are running high. Okay, cool. So we have the sea serpent here. This is all about emotions and creativity. Expressing yourself sexually without fear as well. Getting rid of self-judgment. These are all things the universe wants you to focus on. Forgiveness is a big keyword with sea serpent. There may be things you need to let go, which definitely feel like what we were talking about, you dealing with in the past. So make sure you're really flushing this out of your system, forgiving yourself for these things in order to move forward. Yeah, this is like having true power over your emotional self here and being able to swim in those waters with total control. Yeah, this is all about the solar, the sacral chakra here. It's all about expressing your creativity and sexuality in a healthy way, feeling validated by that. So for some of you, this might mean having good sexual relations and having them from a space of truth within yourself. So really speaking to what feels right in the bedroom, feeling validated by that, seeking partners that validate that aspect of you. This is definitely a time where you need to honor what sexual energy you're drawn to and stop preventing yourself from really experiencing that, diving into that, letting that change you, and also creating something new. Those energies are completely intertwined. What you're creating in love here needs to come from this space of emotional truth and emotional validation. So you need to be validating your own emotions here. And again, forgiving yourself, saying that, yes, this happened, but that doesn't define me. I'm a multifaceted being here. You also got this positive focus card. So definitely make sure you're thinking positively. And this card's geometry is so aligned to sea serpent, actually. So make sure you're thinking positively in terms of what you're creating here. You don't want to go into this with a negative mindset, with a like, oh, what if this happens wrong? What if this goes wrong? Anything like that, because that will kill the life that you are harnessing here. And this has potential to really transform you, this mindset, and transform your love by switching to a positive focus here. And really, again, validating your emotions and feeling, not only validating them, but knowing that there will be a positive outcome when they are validated, when your feelings are validated. And also, I think, there's multiple messages here about sexuality and really honoring that and using that life force as a form of creativity. So maybe this means allowing yourself to be a little more explorative in the bedroom, This really is like this large expressive energy. So it really means to just go for it in general and just let the passion sort of drive your experience and enjoy it and bask in the sun almost, and really honor what it is that you've been sacrificing out of your life for so long. Finally honoring that. And this is going to bring you so much life force. The number 45 and 49 are here too, if that's meaningful to you. But yeah, there's like this happiness that's going to come with it too. So I think that's on the horizon for you. Give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. Yeah, I think there is a lot of things you're feeling guilt from, a lot of things that were not supposed to be said. The universe wants you to clear all that and get it out in the open. I think a lot of this emotional vulnerability that you're being called to act on right now has a lot to do with communication. It really lies in a healthy throat chakra here. So it could help wearing blue, eating blue things like blueberries, getting some lapis lazuli crystal, whatever that might look like for you, going into the ocean. These are all physical things that could help attune your throat chakra here and help you be able to take that leap and speak these truths, and definitely beware when you're speaking these truths, because I can tell there's going to be a lot of fear underneath them. Emotions are running high here. So this could be something that's been such a long time coming, but you just need to get out on your chest. But trust me, it's going to be worth it. But while you're experiencing these big emotions, a big message coming through is don't think so black and white with it. You want to be thinking in the gray area here. So it's like, hey, now that I'm out in the dating pool, maybe it isn't like so black and white and I have to treat everyone based on my past experience. I have to treat everyone like I'm sizing them up, like, oh, I don't like this part of people. I don't like people like this. I don't like people like that. No, like try to find the gray area in it. That's a key to your happiness and love here, is finding that middle ground, finding that medium between the extremes. Thinking in black and white terms is going to go against your own growth here. So, all right, beautiful. Well, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to get deeper, I am doing private readings right now, so feel free to hit my contact up in the video description. But if we're going to leave it here, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The interaction really does help maintain my channel's success and keep these free, keep these readings going. So if you enjoyed today, please help me out with that. And thank you so much. I truly hope this helped you. I hope a lot of this resonated with you. And I hope to see you again for another reading. I hope you have another amazing rest of your day. And thanks for tuning in. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, deck number 2? Thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you chose this deck, you chose a deck with the ball of raw garnet here from Alaska. My friend gave me that a long time ago. So how today's reading is going to go is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot here, and then I'm going to end things off with some beautiful oracle cards. All right, let's get some shuffling going here. What is going on with Deck 2's love life? What is in store for Deck 2's love life? What can you tell me about Deck 2's love life? All right, let's see what you got. Deck 2, in terms of love, we have Wheel of Fortune, Four of Swords, reversed, Five of Swords, reversed, the Magician, Two of Wands in reverse. Okay, let's get some clarifying cards. We have third eye chakra for Wheel of Fortune. We have strength, Four of Swords in reverse. We have clearing with Five of Swords in reverse. We have holiday with the Magician. And we have mountains with the Two of Wands in reverse. Interesting, interesting. All right, deck number 2. So, in the distant past here, we have a big opportunity in love. It's almost like this knowingness comes to fruition, and in your distant past, you had a lot of power in intuition, in trusting your own sense of what you want in romance, what you want out of love, and the universe was conspiring in your favor in the past with love. So maybe you were getting a lot of attention here. You had a lot of options on the table. You had good luck in love too. Maybe some karma was finally coming to fruition here. You felt very aligned in your being in love here. It's almost like destiny. Like this was fated. Maybe you finally found this relationship, one that you've been trying to manifest for a while, and you finally got it. And it felt like the universe was finally gifting this to you, almost like you were owed it for so long. And this opened up a lot. This opened up the world for you. And this was kind of like a turning point almost once you manifested this. So this person entering your life could have really changed everything. For those of you where it wasn't a person entering your life, maybe this was a completely new way of looking at love. Maybe you finally took a step forward, one that you weren't able to for so long. But it really did come with a sense of deep awareness within yourself. And this was destined by the universe. So you really felt so aligned until a certain point where it seems like there was almost this mourning energy. Like you felt like something wasn't alive for so long in love. Maybe your vitality was stagnant for a while. Maybe there wasn't anyone really coming into your life. But that all changed, and you kind of found strength in this new opportunity in love, this new person, and you started planting these seeds. So maybe you were shooting your shot at some people. Maybe you were saying, hey, let's go get a drink. Let's go out. I'm seeing three seeds here specifically, but it doesn't have to be that number. And you're planting things to grow in the future. So maybe you started downloading those apps again. And it's almost like you're coming back to life from the dead here in love. And you're really coming out the gate strong. You are able to plant, these seeds to hope for new life. So for those of you that might have already been in a relationship, maybe you're doing something to spice things up. Maybe you're spicing things up in the bedroom in the near past. Maybe there's like this new fresh energy here. Maybe this person came back into your life that was there in the past, but now it feels new. Now it feels fresh. It feels like a new step forward here. And yeah, it almost feels like destiny. It feels like you were meant to be connected with this person. Or maybe there was, for those of you that aren't in a relationship here, or someone didn't come into your life, maybe something happened in the past where you weren't able to access romance within yourself. You weren't able to access love, weren't able to connect with people on that sort of level. But now that's changed. And I'm hearing that whatever that thing was that you went through in the past was sort of fated. It was meant to happen to bring you to this new mentality and love that you're at now. And again, you can kind of like, it's almost like you're just very aware of the situation. So if this is a new person, it's like you're kind of aware of everything that's going on in the past here, and there's not really any illusion to it for a while. You feel pretty aligned with everything. For those of you who are not in a relationship with someone else, you kind of know what you want now in a relationship. You know who you are. You know what love you're looking for, what style of love. You know what your love language is now. You've kind of self-analyzed yourself, and you're able to discern what it is you like and what it is you don't like. For some of you, maybe you're exploring some new sexual aspect of yourself, and you're getting a little experimental here and there. For some of you, you're finding a new aspect of your sexuality, and this aspect is coming out of a darkness into the light, and it's able to grow. You're giving it nourishment, and you're letting it grow into something beautiful here. Presently, though, there's this need for clearing. There's this need for getting rid of things that aren't really helping the situation. Yeah, it's like you've had these new ideas in this relationship. You've had these new ideas in love, and you've been letting them grow for a while. But I think now is the time that you're realizing that some of these things aren't really serving you, that you've been holding on to for a while. Yeah, there might be some things from the past that are coming up, some past resentment, some old conflicts coming to the surface now. Maybe for those of you that are entering into a relationship that you once had and coming back to it again, you're realizing that the same problems actually are there. So this would definitely hurt. For those of you that have been in the same relationship, maybe the same fight is coming up. For those of you who are single and just downloading those apps again, maybe the same old BS is coming to the surface, and you're like, ugh, this is so annoying. These people are acting the same as they've always acted, and I'm not really finding anyone. So there's a sense of needing to clear the energy. So for some of you, you might be sort of ending it off now. There's this very back and forthness with your being where, you were super aware of who you were in the past and getting a lot of luck and love and a lot of good karma coming your way, feeling like it's destiny, feeling like you finally got what you set out to get, and you're very content with it, very aware and aligned with your intuition. But then bam, you came out and you showed a vulnerable side of yourself, and you showed an aspect of yourself that hasn't really been brought to the surface for a while. And that took a lot of strength. It took a lot of energy in your part, which is commendable. But now it's like this conflict is coming back up. And now that you've entered this world, you've come out of hiding, you realize it's not all, it's not all rainbows. It's also storms here and there. Sometimes it rains, and sometimes the weather isn't the best. Sometimes you're not able to really grow this aspect in love. Maybe this relationship is now presently stagnating, or you're not really finding the dates. You're not really getting any dates here. So there's this clearing energy. So for some of you right now, you're actively ending a relationship. For some of you, you are putting up some boundaries in a relationship and speaking your mind, telling this person your ideas about how the relationship is going. And, you might be bringing up this conflict, and it might be sort of a sword fight between you two in a battle. So, and for some of you, you're battling yourself. The people who are not currently with someone, you're battling yourself. You're battling maybe a harsh mentality you're putting on yourself in love. Maybe you're battling the love pool itself right now. And so there's this idea of cleansing. You're clearing out all that doesn't serve you in love right now, which is necessary because you're forming a new self here in the near future with this Magician card, which is beautiful. You're definitely a powerful person in love too. Like, I'm getting the sense that you're just someone that can speak their mind and has this knowingness to them and trust their intuition, trust their gut when it comes to love, and you're able to speak your minds. You're able to end things when they need to be ended, which is great. I mean, setting those boundaries is definitely a way to really manifest what you want in love, I think, because some people just are straight up not able to communicate how they feel, what they want, whatever it might be. But you're not one of those people. You're one of those people that goes out and uses your resources in this life to manifest what it is that you want. So I feel like you might be thinking that love has been a cold battle for you for a while. The conditions have not been ideal. I think you're looking for this one special person, like we all are. But now you're getting really specific with the way that you're finding that. This could mean getting even more specific about what it is you want out of this relationship, even more specific about what you want out of a new person in your life, being even more specific about how you want things to be in the bedroom. And you're manifesting exactly what it is in the near future that you want out of love. You're using the resources that you have in your life. Maybe this is like leaning on some trusting friends, some trusting family that could lend some wisdom to you, using that to your advantage. Maybe, you had your sights set on some person and now you're actually taking steps to plant the seeds there and say, hey, can you tell him or her or them that I kind of like them? You're actually taking action towards love now, which feels like you've been, you're going to be as much aligned in love as you've ever been in the near future. It's looking like you're really inspired to take action here for the one thing that you like. Like, you really care about finding this ideal relationship now, and you kind of know what it'll be. And I think a lot of you are going to be able to find that. I think a lot of you, despite not having the fruits of your labor really grow into anything for a long time, they're finally going to grow soon. I'm seeing this tree finally budding fruit, finally manifesting as something. And this is all because you're taking inspired action. You're not letting life go by anymore, and you're really realizing that it's all in your hands. So, definitely lean on all the resources you possibly can to make this happen. And take what you want. This isn't really something that's going to come to you. It's something that you need to take. But yeah, the universe is conspiring in your favor here to manifest the type of love that you want. So you're going to be able to experiment in the bedroom. You're going to be able to finally meet that right person that seems like on the right track for you. You're going to be able to get on the right track with your partner, or you're going to be able to finally end things and set that boundary once and for all and choose yourself. You're choosing yourself here. You're not being swayed by any other external factors. And by doing that, by knowing that you have the power as the magician of your own reality, you're able to manifest what it is you're looking for in love. In the distant future here after that, I'm seeing some adversity, perhaps mountains that you might have to climb, multiple mountains that you might have to climb, but that doesn't all have to feel negative. Every time we climb a mountain, we learn something new. We get to the top and we see a beautiful vista, and we see the beauty in the struggle. You might be a little fearful of the unknown here. You might be experiencing like an inability to plan the step forward after a while. Some of you might be struggling maintaining this active mindset when it comes to inspired action on love. Not really able to plan in the future. So some of you, you're not really looking at the future when you're manifesting this new love. You're kind of just looking in the present. So maybe you're just trying to resolve this conflict right now in the moment, but you're not really thinking of the big picture. Maybe some of you aren't seeing all the mountains that you will have to climb with this person if you stay with them. Yeah. Some of you aren't really able to see a future with this person. Some of you aren't really able to plan a future with this person. And it might feel a little out of control, which is totally fine. But again, I think you want to go back to who you were in the past, where I was talking about you having this very strong intuition, very strong inner knowingness of what it is you want, and going from there. Make sure you're thinking in future terms with this new action you're taking in love. Make sure you're thinking big picture, because that might run you into issues. So you might be manifesting something in the near future and just living in the moment of it, not really coming from that grounded place of listening to your intuition, listening to your gut here, and not really looking forward into the future, which could cause a bunch of mountains that you have to climb. So just be aware of that. But the key here is inspired action, using your resources. That's how your fruit will bud, and make sure you're coming from a place of listening to yourself, listening to your intuition, listening to your gut. All right, let's go a little deeper here, get some extra little oracle messages. And as always, these messages can be looked at any which way. Messages from the universe, your guides, your higher self, your ancestors, your spirit tribe, God, however you like to look at it. All right, so I'm going to start with a nice animal card. What animal can help deck number 2 with love? What animal can help deck number 2? Ooh, tarantula. Let's get a card from the Frequency deck, Teal, Swan. Ooh, that was close. I mean, that happened fast. Diversity, 15. Let's get an angel card for you. I mean, this one just kind of appeared so naturally. Clairvoyance. Let's get a guide card now. What do deck number 2's guides want them to hear about love? Oof. These cards are popping out. Boredom. Spirit teachers. And we'll get a moon card. Gosh, I love how these cards are just coming out. Bring love into the situation. How fitting. Okay, I'm just going to get some clarifying cards for these. See what we got. For tarantula, got chaos, diversity. We have containers. Clairvoyance, we have water. Boredom, we have crowd surfing. And then we have adversity. Cool. So there's definitely this raw passion within you. Deck number 2. A lot of fire energy here. This passion may be a little overwhelming at times. Like you may just be giddy for love and so excited that you're just putting it in so many places, but there's really no rhyme or reason for it. So beware. There's definitely this sort of need to compartmentalize your passion here and make sure your passion is going into the correct places. The tarantula usually adheres to some sort of crossroads you're having right now. Not really sure which direction you want to go in, which is perfectly aligned with the chaos card under it. You want to be making sure this passion is being put in the right places. So don't be wasting your raw kind of root energy, your sexual energy, your energy in general. Make sure your passion is purposeful, I feel like is the message. And yeah, you have another message with the tarantula to follow your intuition here. Make sure you're prioritizing your deeper needs for love and not just going through the motion. Make sure every step you're taking is purposeful in love and actually aligned with your life's purpose, with your actual ideal idea of love. You may be forming, having a bunch of habits that were formed or forming habits right now that could be pushing you away from your ultimate goal and sidetracking you from your dream partner. So make sure you refocus your attention and really kind of reorient your approach. There's a lot of like starting and stopping and like erratic movement, chaos. You want to be controlling the chaos and put everything into its little container. So make sure you're taking actions toward your ideal version of love properly and it's going in the right place. And we have the beautiful diversity card too. So that's a sign to just have an open mind again with love and don't be too closed off into your idea with everything. Don't be closed off to certain types of people. Don't be closed off to certain things in the bedroom. Don't be closed off to alternative ways to find love. Don't be closed off to different kind of ways to bring love into this situation. Do something you've never done before in love. And that doesn't just have to mean in the bedroom. That could be meaning like, let's go do this activity, or let's go spice it up a little. Like you want to diversify at this point, and really, I think that's kind of the key to finding control in this chaos, is doing something different, because I think you're succumbing to a lot of these patterns, and I think you need to jump out of that and, again, spice it up a little bit. Add a different flavor to love. I think this is your sign to do that. You have clairvoyance here. I'm helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully, so you can clearly see heavenly love. Oh my gosh, how fitting too. So yeah, it's almost like your intuition is reopening again, and I think you're realizing some things that I think you realized in the past, but you're realizing again, and it's almost like maybe you had to go through it all over again to finally come to the same conclusion, but this time it just hits a little harder. Yeah, definitely some treacherous waters though. Make sure you're grounding your emotions here, finding those calming waters, because you can definitely be a victim of just overwhelming emotion and feeling like you're kind of caught in the wave of everything. So make sure you're like riding the current, I would say, and don't be going against the current here. If something is manifesting, if someone's coming into your sight, that could be a potential suitor, like just see it through. Like don't immediately close off from it. You want to be going with the flow here. You have the boredom card here too, so that's another reason to, spice things up, mixed with this crowd surfing card as well. Yeah, there's this aspect of you feeling kind of like alone in your situation, feeling like you're just a fish in the sea, and the sea is so large and you can't really see anyone else that you're interested in, maybe. You really need to go outside of your box here and find something that you normally wouldn't have found. So you might be someone that's really closed off to certain people, or closed off to certain things in the bedroom, or closed off to, your partner, kind of like just feeling like that they're always the same way. It's like this idea of conformity. So yeah, there's so many different signs here in these cards that are pointing to just feeling like erratic and kind of succumbing to your patterns. So you really need to be breaking those patterns here to see a difference. So make sure you're going outside your comfort zone. Again, find diversity in love. And even more love cards. You have bring love into the situation. So make sure you're giving yourself self-love here too, because you're definitely going to be facing some adversity in love in the near future. So make sure you're remembering to love yourself. It's not always about the other person, because ultimately when you're, figuring out what you actually want in love, that actually helps you manifest the ideal partner. So try not to be so pessimistic. Try to see the positives here. Try to see the benefit in spicing things up. It might not feel the best at first, but I promise you it will be worth it. Yeah, I mean, overall, I really do feel like love is destined for you, especially in the near future, once you are finally inspired to take action. But make sure, again, it's inspired action. I feel like you needed to hear that today. It needs to be imbued with this knowingness of what it actually is you want love to look like for you, and move from that space. But you may not know exactly what it is. How would you find that? Finding it in diversity, trying a bunch of different flavors. Maybe you just don't even know. Maybe you've been so used to the same thing that you are just so closed off to anything different. But you really should try different aspects and trying, to be open to different kind of people, different kind of mentalities in love, different things in the bedroom. And that's really how you're going to evolve to the next level in your relationship, or finally manifest something that's right for you. Make sure you're not succumbing to these same patterns. Make sure you're moving forward in love with inspired action, and you're not closed off to something that is new and different, because that could be your guiding light to finally finding that sense of inner knowingness and evolving even further within yourself, and just having more of a clear sense of intuition in what it is you want in love and what you want love to look like. So, overall, it definitely feels like you're just needing some clarity, some organization, and some spice. So I dare you to try something new this week. I know you can do it. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to end it there. If you want to go deeper, I do private readings right now, so go into the description, my contact's there. But if not, I really hope this helped. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The interaction really helps keep this channel alive, keep my readings free. So I'd really appreciate it. And I really hope you resonated with this. I really hope there's something you can take away into your life from this reading. Thank you for tuning in. Please tune in again. Have a beautiful rest of your day. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, deck number 3? Welcome to your reading. If you chose deck number 3, you chose a deck with the tiny little black tourmaline on it. So how this reading is going to go is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot here, some clarifying cards, and then I'm going to move into some oracle cards to end things off. All right. Let's see what's in store for deck number 3 in love. Okay, deck number 3. Let's see what's coming to the surface for love for you. 7 of Wands in reverse. 9 of Cups. 5 of Wands. 5 of Cups in reverse. And then 3 of Swords. Just going to get some clarifying cards here too. We have Stuck with 7 of Wands. We have Your Story with 9 of Cups. We have Root Chakra with 5 of Wands. We have Beginnings with 5 of Cups in reverse. And we have Focus with 3 of Swords. All right. So, in your distant past, you're definitely feeling stuck, stagnated in love, feeling like you were sort of in conflict a bit. You might have been fighting with a partner, or you might have been perhaps on some dating apps and not really seeing eye to eye with a bunch of people. Yeah, not really any forward momentum here. Yeah, this feeling of like feeling overwhelmed, kind of like giving up on the fight, giving up on love even. Maybe like protective, or feeling like you lost the battle in love. yeah, maybe you were just trying so hard for so long in the past and just feeling like nothing was really coming to fruition. Like it just wasn't worth the fight any longer. Maybe you're having all these fights with your partner and there's no forward movement. It's just staying how it's always stayed. And you've almost like given up. It's not even worth fighting anymore. This person just isn't going to change. For those of you that aren't with the person in the past and you're just alone, maybe you just feel like it's not worth finding love anymore. You've tried all these different ways. You've tried all the apps. You've tried going to the bars, whatever it might be, getting set up, blind dates. Nothing is working out. And you're still staying in the same place that you've been for so long. Might be feeling unlucky, feeling like there's just nothing really working out. So you gave up. You decided that it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth fighting this person, or it's not worth even trying to find any dates. And maybe you've been hurt so much, you're hurt so much in the past that you're kind of closed off even from people coming in. And you don't even want to try, or you didn't. This is in your past. Maybe you experienced a breakup and now you don't even want all these people that your friends are trying to set you up with. Or maybe for those of you that are in a relationship, you've just given up. Maybe you just don't think anything's going to change with this person. They're just going to be the way they are, and you're stuck in this relationship for the end of your life. You got in this marriage, and now you're stuck. You signed the contract. It's so difficult to get out, and there's no escape. So it's definitely not a great place that you were in the past. There's just no movement whatsoever. Like you're locked in a cell. And you didn't know who had the key. You didn't know if you did or if maybe the other person did. But either way, there was no really mending the situation for a while. But then things kind of changed. You kind of got over those emotions, that passion, maybe you got over that conflict that you were dealing with the partner. And then things got more emotional. And maybe you realized that this person wasn't all that bad. Maybe you realized that you might have been putting yourself in your own cell, so to speak. Then your feelings kind of morphed into contentment. You were actually satisfied with where you were in the relationship, and maybe you vocalized how you didn't like how things were and you wanted to make a change, and you spoke your emotions to this person, and then things changed, and now you felt content in the near past. And this was just a chapter in your relationship story. For those of you that were without a partner, maybe you just felt content being alone. You felt emotionally fulfilled in yourself. Maybe you dived into some creative pursuits like writing or reading, or maybe you dived into fantasy worlds and you were happy with learning about other people's love and connection and not really writing your own story. You were just content with a blank page. Yeah. But that almost like connects still with this feeling of stuckness. So there's still things that needed to evolve, needed to change. And maybe they just, you were writing this new chapter of your story, but it wasn't the chapter you were hoping on writing. For those of you in a relationship, maybe you were happy with reading the same chapter over and over and over again. But you kind of got everything you wanted. You were happy for a while. And you got over that feeling of stuckness. But now, things don't feel all that content. You're back to this passionate energy. Maybe, for those of you that had a partner, you had that fight, then it kind of calmed the waters a bit. Maybe you went more internal. And now we're back to almost where you were before, but even more intense. Now we have even more conflict here. You're passionate about getting your point across here. And the conflict is almost about the foundation of your relationship. Maybe you're fighting about things that happened when you were first getting together now. You're definitely not seeing eye to eye. You're disagreeing about something. You could be almost like competing with each other, like trying to one-up each other and have the last word and be right. You're both trying to be right in this situation. And it's causing chaos in this relationship, and there's just a lot of tension every single day. And you're at war right now. And it's kind of uprooting your relationship. It's breaking away at the foundation that you laid in the beginning of this relationship. For those of you who are not in a relationship, this could be an internal battle with yourself. Maybe you realized you weren't all content, and that was almost like a facade that you put on yourself, and the satisfaction was actually dissatisfaction. You weren't happy with the stories that you were writing in your book that is your life, and you're not happy with where the story's going. It's almost like you want to burn the book and completely start over, almost. Like you're just ripping out the pages, starting from a completely blank slate. And you're uprooting your love life here. Maybe for some of you, you're just deleting all the apps and realizing like, hey, this is not the right path for me. I should just go out in the open. For some of you, you're just giving up on the dating pool just now. Yeah, there's like this intense sort of sexual energy and sexual attention with this too, where there's just like this intensity, this passion almost, and this sexual frustration. But also, this might be affecting your body. Like for some of you, in a relationship, this might be getting physical. So definitely make sure you're protecting yourself at this point. Like a relationship should never get physical. That's obviously a sign that it should not be a relationship. You should completely cut ties there. Hopefully that goes without saying, but some people need that sign. Some people need to hear that. So if that's you, this is a sign that I can see that, and that shouldn't be happening. So for some of you, this is like literally affecting your body, and it could be weighing down on you. For some of you, this is just causing extreme anxiety. This could be affecting your home. Maybe you have to leave home and go somewhere else. Maybe you have to sleep in a different room, sleep on the couch or something. But it's really affecting the foundation of your being, the foundation of your relationship. For those of you that are alone, it really is just feels like a starting over of sorts, like you're pulling out an entire plant with its roots out of the ground, and it's bleeding, like you're bleeding inside, your heart's bleeding a little, and you're blaming yourself and blaming the world. It's just chaotic right now, so I feel for you. In the near future, though, we have a beginning card, which is beautiful. It's definitely what you guys need, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're not. So it might be time to sever ties with this person. So in the near future, you're finally cutting off this relationship, cutting off this way of being in this relationship, the one that's been triggering you for so long. And you're trying to shift positively, actually. Like the Five of Swords here in reverse is actually a positive card to get for your near future, because you're no longer looking towards all the cups that have been spilled and all their liquid running across the floor, and you're actually looking towards what you still have. Like, you're feeling like in the near future that all is not lost, and you actually have things to move forward with. Like, you have maybe other people that could fill this hole within you. Obviously, that shouldn't be too much the goal. Like, just getting out of a relationship, you shouldn't really be jumping into one immediately, but you're having this new beginning here, and you're able to have it positively. But there is this cutting off, this severing of ties, this ending of sorts in love. So this could be the end of your relationship finally, or this could be the end of an aspect of your relationship. Like, hey, maybe it could mean so many things. Like, hey, maybe we don't do this thing in the bedroom anymore. Or, hey, maybe you'll pick up the kids and I'll do this. It could be that. It's like you're finally stepping into this new orientation within relationships and love. For those of you who are not going to be meeting someone new, and this has always been an internal battle for you, you're finally able to see the positive in this, and you're trying to start a new beginning in love. So maybe this is a new way that you're learning to love yourself. Maybe this is a new way in which you're able to search for love. Again, maybe for some of you, you're deleting the apps and going out into the world. Maybe you're just putting it out into fate, But thankfully, you're really able to get over feelings like regret, feelings of failure. You're not really grieving too much. You're just ready to move on here. You're ready for this new beginning. And the beginning is pointing towards that root chakra again. So for some of you, this could be a new home. This could even be jumping into a new relationship for some of you. Definitely watch out for that. Make sure you're getting into the right relationship, though. And yeah, for some of you who are not, this doesn't relate to a relationship with the person, it's more internal. This is a new relationship with how you look at yourself, from the bottom level, from the clearest foundation of your being and your identity in terms of love. So maybe you're loving yourself in a completely new way and learning to love a different aspect of yourself that you've been in conflict with for so long. So you're writing a new chapter in your story, and for the first time in a while, you're actually liking what you're writing down. You're liking in the direction in which it's going. This new beginning is definitely beautiful. And then in the distant future, you're bringing a lot of focus into love, for sure. And you're almost thinking deeply now about what that actually looks like here. I think for a lot of you, you're going to be really negatively focusing on that conflict again, maybe going back into those old patterns, dealing with some potential anger, some jealousy. Maybe you're seeing this partner getting with someone else and you're kind of jealous of that. You're holding on to hatred too. Like you're just focused on heartbreak. Like you're almost regretting that decision you made after some time of like, finally breaking it off, starting this new mentality, actually able to think positively about it for a while. But maybe that was like just your way of just getting rid of it for the moment. But there's still this core issue, I feel like. And the core issue isn't really with anyone else. Doesn't matter if you're in really, you were getting rid of this relationship or you're in a relationship or you're not. Doesn't matter. Like the core issue here is your own heart. And yeah, I think you're just jealous of what other people have here, and you're not realizing that your own heart was broken here and your own heart needs repair now. And I think the key message here is that it was never about any of these other people, and it was always about your own heart at the end of the day. And maybe you don't quite realize this as soon as you break it off with this person after this conflict, or when you're in conflict with yourself and you're trying to have this new mentality. Maybe you don't completely realize what you're supposed to be focusing on in the beginning, and you're not putting the focus on the right thing. You're not setting positive intentions moving forward. You're kind of focusing on the negative here. Yeah. And that's just going to end you back in exactly where you began when you're feeling stuck. And maybe this is your own cycle, because feeling stuck is that cycle. So maybe this is the motion that you go through. You feel stuck, then you get over it, and then you feel content, but you're not so happy with the story that's being created. You get into conflict again, everything is uprooted, and then it ends. You're able to think positively for a new beginning again, and then bam, you get your heart broken yet again. But instead of focusing on the heartbreak here, focusing on the other person, or focusing on this third party, or focusing on the lack of love in your life, the focus should now be on this cycle. Realize what this cycle looks like for you. Realize that it is a cycle. Realize that this pattern needs to be broken. And it's just landing you exactly where you used to be. The focus should be on your own heart, not the hearts of others at this point. I think your own heart needs healing here. Okay, I'm going to move on to some oracle cards, because I think that's really where the breakthrough is going to happen for you in this reading. And these oracle messages, I always like to say, you don't have to look at them as messages from your angels or something. You can look at them as a message from your guide, your higher self, the universe, God, your ancestors, however you want to look at it. Let's get some extra messages for deck number 3 in terms of love. What animal can help deck number 3 in this time? What animal can help deck number 3 with breaking this cycle and helping their heart break? Oof, felt that one. The turtle. Cute. Let's get a frequency card from the Teal Swan frequency deck. What frequency is deck number 3 vibrating at in terms of love? Surrender. Let's get an angel card. What do deck 3's angels want them to hear in terms of love? You are safe. Let's get a guide card for deck number 3. What do deck number 3's guides want them to know about love? What do deck number 3's guides want them to know about love? Thank you. Epiphany, higher self. And I'll get a moon card too. Ooh, nice and quick. Don't let your past hold you back. Okay. Gonna get some clarifying too. We have present, specialness, direction, open heart, and balance. All right, well, we have this turtle card here. The turtle is about how we collect our different life experiences in our own shell, much like the turtle. So you should be looking back at all of your experiences in love and knowing that they were all there for a reason. Every breakup was there to learn a lesson. Every relationship that didn't work out was actually there just to teach you something about yourself, teach you something about how you relate to others and what you're looking for in a relationship. Treat them like presents almost, like these are gifts from the universe that you actually did need to go through to manifest your ideal partner, to manifest your ideal version of what love looks like for you. Another message from the turtle that comes through is speed. Like we've all heard the tale of the rabbit and the hare. Who wins the race? The turtle does, because they take slow steps forward. So maybe that's a message that you need to hear. You need to be taking slower steps forward instead of rushing into things. You also need to make sure you're going in the right direction, like you actually know what your intentions are with someone, because the steps are meaningless if you don't know the destination, if you don't know what that looks like for you. So if you don't even know what you want out of a relationship or what love looks like to you, then the steps forward, the actions you're taking towards love are going to be meaningless. I always like to tell people that the word love is much like the word God, where we all have different ideas and versions of what that means to us. And we need to define that for each of us, because we all have a different idea of what that means. And the other person on the other side of this can have a different idea of what that is completely. So it might be time to define what love actually means to you. So again, treat those lessons as presents. Another message is that now that you're kind of realizing the cycle, like it is planting a seed for the future. So if you're able to actually look back objectively at what's happening in your life and how this is happening over and over and over, it's actually also a gift, because you're planting a seed of consciousness, and that's going to grow into something bigger within your brain, within your psyche. And it's almost like the lesson I was just saying, like it's just another life experience that you can take and learn something from. So make sure you do that. Right now, the universe wants you to surrender to this experience as well. The number 58 is coming through, if that means anything, 5-8. You need to surrender to the experience because you're in a transformative state right now. The universe also wants you to realize that you're special with this special card here. So you are more unique than you are letting off, and more people should realize that, and you should value the people that do think that you are special. Those are the people that truly will show you love here. And also value that your own unique sense of what you want in a relationship or what you want out of love is special, so you need to honor that. You are safe, Archangel Michael. I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. So yeah, for some of you, you needed to really hear that. For some of you, you might be dealing with like a very intense breakup, and you need to know that you will be protected if you have to leave this. So there are people that you can lean on. Make sure you lean on them. There are ways where you can be safe during this. Make sure you plan accordingly. Don't just do a rash breakup. Don't just listen to a tarot reading online and then go break up with your partner. Make sure you have a plan in place. But either way, you are protective, you are safe. So make sure you know that when taking action moving forward. And epiphany, higher self, open heart. Now the imagery in these cards are very aligned. The number 18 is coming through too. Yeah, I think this is going to feel like an epiphany for you soon. I think you are going to have this very grand realization about a relationship or about your relationship with love. Make sure you're treating it with an open heart. Make sure you're giving yourself love during this situation as well. Make sure you're protecting yourself during this too. Make sure you're always keeping your higher self in mind, like what is ultimately what you want, what is the best for you in your life, and attaining the love that you want, and take steps with that in mind when you're thinking of what direction you want to go in. So this might be a time to ask your higher self what it is you want out of love, and whatever the first thing that comes to mind is usually the answer. So have a conversation with your higher self, and maybe that's where you'll find this epiphany. Make sure you have an open heart to it too. Like, just make sure you have this openness to love. Don't be closed off. Like, you're definitely going to go through a bunch of motions and cycles soon when it comes with love. So make sure you're staying true to that idea, because you're definitely going to go through, a bunch of stormy weather in it. So make sure you're protected. Protecting your idea of love and the love of yourself. Like, make sure you love yourself throughout all this. And that's a beautiful way to protect yourself going through this, and having that hard conversation with your partner, having that hard conversation with yourself, your higher self. Lastly, don't let your past hold you back. It's a beautiful card. South Node. So yeah, it's time to start that new beginning. And you have the balance card here too. Find that balance. I think there's been some, there's energy that's getting a little too out of whack in your life. So you need to tone that down and make sure the areas of your life that are being underrepresented, underappreciated, are coming to the forefront. And everything should feel balanced. So make sure you're bringing balance into this situation too. All right, so that's all the messages that are coming through for you right now. If you want to go deeper, I do private readings, so hit me up. My contact's in the description. But if we're going to leave it here, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope something resonated with you today. Please tune back in another time for another reading. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The interaction really helps keep my channel afloat and these readings free, so I'd really appreciate that. And thank you again. Really hope this helped. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your night, and I'll see you next time. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, pile number 4? Welcome to your reading. Remember, if you pick this pile, you pick the deck with the fire agate on it, which is such a pretty crystal. It has like layers of orange and lighter orange. Really does look like a rock made of fire. All right, so how this reading is going to work is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot and some clarifying cards, and then I'll go into some oracle cards to end things off. Let's see what's in store for deck 4's love. What is in store in terms of love for deck number 4? Shuffle it 4 times just for you. Deck number 4. All right, deck number 4. Let's see what you got. We have 7 of Cups in reverse. We have the Emperor. We have the Ace of Wands. We have 6 of Swords. And we have 3 of Pentacles. Just going to get some clarifying cards here. We have Resistance with 7 of Cups. We have Stardust with the Emperor. We have Purity with Ace of Wands. We have Solar Plexus Chakra with the 6 of Swords. And lastly, the Moon with 3 of Pentacles. All right. Deck number 4. Well, in your distant past, interesting combination of almost like wish fulfillment, things kind of coming together in love, but also resistance, which is interesting. Maybe you were kind of in resistance to something that you got. So this might have been an offer of a relationship that you were a little hesitant to accept. You have a clear mind here, though, but you're still resistant. It's almost like you didn't want to step into your power. Yeah, I mean, there's not so much illusion, but there is clarity mixed with this resistance at the same time. So it's almost like you're getting this like perfect relationship or this perfect person popping up into your life, or this relationship that you had that, you know, is totally clear. It's totally, you know exactly what it is. You know what this person stands for. You know what they're going to give you here. yet you're still resistant. So maybe you like bit off a little too much, bit off more than you can chew. You got what you wished for, but now that you had it, you were kind of like resistant to it. You're finally getting the relationship that you wanted, but then once you got it, you didn't want it anymore. So maybe you kind of got a little scared and afraid of it and rejected from it. Maybe you realized it wasn't what you wished for. And so you might have had to break someone's heart. You might have had to tell your partner no, or break things off with your partner even, because there's some aspect that you were resistant to. There was some aspect that was triggering for you. So maybe this person could have triggered some previous wound that you were dealing with, which caused you to resist it. Maybe you finally got a date. You got a date that you wanted. You wanted a chance at love, and then it came up to your front doorstep, and then you kind of ran away. Maybe your friends were setting you up with someone because you were like, oh, I don't know, like, I want someone, but it just isn't working out. And then your friend was like, okay, well, meet my friend right here. Here you go. He or she or they just coming to your front doorstep tomorrow. Like, be ready, go to this restaurant. And you're like, whoa, like that's a lot, Or maybe your partner was like, hey, let's do this, let's get married, let's do that. And you're like, blah, blah, blah. Like this fantasy almost, but you were resistant to it. Then you kind of stepped into this like masculine energy and you became the king of your domain, which is interesting with this stardust energy. Yeah, I mean, you were definitely, after being resistant for so long, suddenly you were the initiator. And it's very like universal. It's very almost like destined, this action you're taking. You're in your power here. You're very much in this masculine place, taking very powerful action towards love. But it's rooted in this stardust energy. Distant planets, distant galaxies, way bigger than just planet Earth. So maybe you had your sights set on something bigger. Maybe the person that you were offered wasn't as grandiose as you wished they were. And so you set your sights on something larger. It made you realize your own power. It made you realize that's not what I want. And so it kind of lit a fire under you to go out and chase after what it is you actually want, because you wanted something greater than what was offered to you. For some of you, this could have been this father figure in your life, and that doesn't have to mean that they were a man, just someone with like a bunch of masculine energy coming at you and kind of laying down the lawn, forbidding you for seeing this person. So maybe for some of you, this resistance wasn't coming from yourself. This resistance was coming from an authority figure in your life. So this could have been someone in your family. This could have been a protective friend. This could be an organization even that you're a part of that is the source of this resistance for you. So there's almost maybe this sense of like you're unable to wish for what it is that you want. But you want the stars. You're looking at the stars here. You're looking for something greater. Presently now, you have this offering of passion. You're inspired to take action. I think you're going beyond this disruption, this disruptive masculine energy, and now you are this masculine energy. You were dreaming, looking into the sky, looking at all the stars sparkling, dreaming of a different partner, dreaming of a different manifestation of love in your life that maybe was being prevented from you for so long. So yeah, there's like this big restrictive energy that's been affecting your wish fulfillment in love and been causing this resistance in love for a long time, almost like your heart has been protected from this passionate fire that was within you. And so you're now, presently, purifying yourself of that masculine figure, I think, that was so restrictive. You're leaving this community. You're leaving the affection that wasn't actually affection. It was more controlling. It was like ruling with an iron fist. It wasn't taking your emotions into account. And now it's like I'm seeing this like image of you like putting up your finger to this authority because they were the block between your wish fulfillment. They were the block between your dreams. I think what was offered to you in the past wasn't actually aligned with your idea of love. That's why you were resistant to it. And I think the culprit was this masculine force in your life. But now you're leaving that. You're purifying yourself of that. You're filling yourself up with potential. You're again looking at these stars, and now they're not just above you, they're inside of you, and they're growing. So you're in a powerful place now. You have potential to create something, create this, your version of love for you. And it's a new beginning, and you're very passionate. You're full of passion now. Now that you can say goodbye to this overarching force on top of you, and you're leaving. I think now you're contemplating about how you're going to take exit from this masculine force in your life, from this overarching authority and this establishment. So you might be leaving a community here. You might be breaking ties with a loved one, or at least an aspect of your relationship with a loved one. You're leaving this structure that was set up for you, this structure, this way that love was supposed to be for you. You're leaving that behind now. For a lot of you, this could have been your father. And so now you're coming up with ideas on how to leave, on the best way to leave, and you might be taking other people with you. I'm seeing two people here, one a little older and one a little younger. For some of you, that might actually be taking family away from this mentality, or leaving a community with some people. Or for some of you, it could just be like inspiring friends actually with you taking this action, and it actually will inspire hope within more people. And your act of leaving this behind and saying goodbye to this is actually affecting those around you positively. And this is really an act for yourself. It's an act for your own ego, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing, because judging on your past situation, like, you weren't really in control. You weren't able to really wish for what you wanted to wish for. Like, you were hoping for something that wasn't really your own. For some of you, this is like religiously rooted. For some of you, you're like leaving this religious mentality behind. Yeah, so there's a strengthening of the solar plexus chakra now, which is all about your sense of self and your self-confidence and your identity within the world. So you're forming a new identity here. You're forming a new way of being with love, a new way to look at love, a new way to treat love. And this is for you. Like, it's fully for you now. And you're traveling to a distant land. So in the near future, you're going to be in this big transitory stage. You're going to have this change in emotion. You're going to feel ways that you haven't felt before or in a long time. You're going on this new journey, and you're releasing this masculine overarching establishment energy in your life, and you're choosing you're choosing yourself, which is beautiful. You're finally taking a stand, and I think that's awesome. But it's definitely going to take some planning. Like, make sure you're planning ahead accordingly. Like, it's definitely going to be an exit that has to be figured out and done in the correct way for it to succeed. But at the end of the day, like, remember that you're doing this for yourself. You're doing this because this is what you want to do. And cutting ties with this person means that you get to own your authority on love and own your idea on love. And, like, for some of you, if this doesn't feel like it's a person, this could just be like a internal mentality for yourself. Like, maybe you've been so focused on finding masculine energy within partners and love and feeling like that's what you need, and now you're saying, no, I actually need people that are more in tune with their emotions and willing to express emotions and willing to honor my emotions, instead of people that are more so about action and passion in the moment and, authority and structure. I actually need people that are more in tune with their inner selves. And I think that's exactly where you're moving towards. I think you're leaving that sort of structure and organization, establishment, and the authority, and entering into a new community filled with people. So I think you're going to be in the distant future meeting new people that align with this idea of love for you. And you're building something new with them. You share the same beliefs about love. You're learning from them. They're learning from you. And you're all in tune with your own emotions. And you're expressing your emotions. You're expressing your true self here, your true ideas about love, your true ideals about love. And for the first time in a long time, I think you actually feel like you belong, and you feel like your wishes can actually be fulfilled in love. And people are going to help you. You're going to be supported during, at the other end of this journey. And you're going to be implementing this new mentality into your life. But yeah, it really is like the the transition from this masculine energy to this feminine energy here. And I think there's going to be a lot of things that come to the surface for you that haven't been dealt with in a while, so that could be difficult. So make sure you're leaning on support here, and there's definitely going to be people willing to help and many opportunities to learn, so make sure you're open to that. That's so cool. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to get some oracle cards now. You can look at this as some little extra messages from your higher self, your ancestors, your guides, your angels, your spirit tribe, your higher self, the universe. Let's start with an animal card. So let's see what animal can help deck number 4 in love. What animal can help deck number 4? The tiger. Let's get a card from the frequency deck. Teal, Swan. What frequency is deck number 4 vibrating right now in terms of love? What frequency is deck number 4? Wow, there's a lot of cards popping out, but I'm waiting for the right one. What frequency is deck 4 vibrating at in terms of love right now? Thank you. Synchronicity. Get an angel card. What messages from deck 4's angels do they need to hear in terms of love? What messages from deck 4's angels do they need to hear? Comfort. What messages from deck 4's guides do they need to hear in terms of love? Ooh, felt that one. Exhaustion. Get a moon message to end. Oof, that one came flying out. A time to give rather than take. Interesting. Just gonna do some clarifying cards. Fire with tiger, that's pretty fitting. Authenticity with synchronicity. Shielding with comfort. Pedestal with exhaustion. Gates. The time to give rather than take. So you have this tiger energy mixed with fire. Tiger is already a fire element. Yeah, you have this another symbol coming through with the tiger of this lunar force. So this, transition into this feminine energy where you're more so accessing your emotions in terms of love rather than acting on love. You're kind of like feeling out the space here, feeling like what kind of love you're searching for is changing. Yeah, it's like literally feminine energy. It's that transition from masculine to feminine now. So there's going to be these beautiful feminine figures that are coming in to your life and helping you. And by feminine, it doesn't have to mean like literally female. It's just people that give off that feminine energy, which is all about being in tune with your emotions and listening to people, being in tune with your intuition, listening to your inner guides, holding space for people and really hearing them and, feeling them and what they need to hear, giving them messages from your own heart. This decision from you is definitely coming with a lot of fire, a lot of passion. It's a passionate decision that you're making, and it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of sensuality too, like having to be in tune with your own emotions to be able to do this. It might be, for some of you, you might be leaving this masculine force at night. It might be worth, when you're planning this, to make sure you do this at a time where no one is awake, and planning accordingly so you can make your moves in darkness. And that might be the right time to take action for you. So for others, you might be having this epiphany at night. You might be having late night talks with yourself, late night talks with other people. Yeah, so some of you, a lot of this work is going to happen at night. If you're looking for a time to make this transition, it might be during a full moon, so make sure you look up when the next moon is. But yeah, the moon can really guide you during this time right now. There might be cancers coming in, cancer signs. Yeah, it's all about taking advantage of the night, taking advantage of the moon, taking advantage of your emotions in the moment, that passion, and really acting on that in the moment, and honoring your emotions in the moment and your passions in the moment. Make sure you're spending time in silence too. Make sure you have time to process these emotions. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power. That's beautiful. Some of you could help lighting some candles too. Like, it might be good to light some candle work and just gaze at a candle and contemplate. You might be experiencing a lot of synchronicities once you make this decision to transition. It's all rooted in your authenticity. So for a long time, you guys have been feeling like you've been wearing a mask, and you're finally taking that off and living your truth, being your true self. It's a very transformative time for a lot of you people. The number 59 is coming through. The number 20 is coming through. So yeah, I think once you finally make this decision, you're going to realize that a lot of things are just falling into place exactly how you'd wish they would. And, people are coming out in different areas to support you. And you're going to be a lot more supported than you might think by making this decision, by making this transition into, saying goodbye to this masculine figure in your life, or saying goodbye to this toxic masculine temptation, this masculine attraction in your life, and saying hello to emotional vulnerability with yourself and other people, actually showing your authentic self to people. So comfort is on the way. I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So there really are going to be these angels almost that come into your life. And I don't mean like, biblical angels in a way. I mean more so these people that are just so willing to help you and help you heal during this time, and help you transition into this new space where you're honoring yourself, honoring your own emotions. You might be closed off from them, closing yourself off to them in the beginning. So I think you're just coming from a place of exhaustion, like you've been dealing with this for so long and it's almost like hit a breaking point. So you really need help here. You might have been putting this person on a pedestal for so long that it's so hard to see anything else as like worthy or valuable. But know that it is. Know that the universe wants you to know that this is something that you should be putting on a pedestal in your life. And this is something that's important to you, and it will change all the other different aspects in your life. This is like a gate you're crossing, a new level. You're unlocking a new chapter. You're writing in your life by switching from this masculine energy to this feminine energy and getting more in tune with your emotions and your authentic self here. You haven't been experiencing this for a long time, so it's time to finally get authentic. And by taking that leap and moving forward and taking that journey forward, you're going to be rewarded, and you're going to be supported, and you're going to realize that there's a lot more in favor for you in the universe. New moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. So I think it's time to like really speak your truth here. It's time to, like, again, you might be helping other people going on this journey, so that might be what this is relating to. Like, while you make this decision to get out, like, make sure you're not leaving others behind that want to go on the same journey. So make sure you're generous in that way. And again, those people are going to be supported too, I think. Like, you're all going into this, past this gate to this distant land. So, and you're all going to be equally supported. But yeah, there's all this beautiful feminine energy coming towards you. And a lot of people that are going to be here to support you and here to support your authentic self. So don't be fearful when you're ready to express that, when you're ready to take this journey, take this leap away from this overarching masculine structure, authority figure energy in your life. Don't be afraid, because you're going to be supported by the universe. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to get a little deeper, you can go into my description, hit up my contact, and I do private readings right now. So if you're interested in that, hit me up. If not, please leave me with a like, comment, or subscribe. Interaction really helps keep my channel alive, helps keep these readings free. I really hope this resonated with you. I really hope you can take something into your life with this. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time. So thanks again. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your night. This has been Rainbow Moon.